A hyena can fight on equal terms with the leopard, but it turned out that she gives in to an ordinary donkey. The hyena had no idea that she would receive such a fierce rebuff. The donkey grabbed the opponent by the scruff of the neck and began to drag him around like a rag to teach a painful lesson. It's better not to mess with a donkey. And there are many such cases. Hyenas often attack donkeys, believing that they are facing easy prey. Relatively long ears and neck, small compared with a horse, height, as well as a long, cute muzzle, make it all seem that this herbivore is suitable only for the role of prey, but not an aggressor. But in fact, donkeys have an incredibly cool temper. Not only are these ungulates completely fearless, but they also know how to fight perfectly. And the hyena realized this too late, because the donkey's main weapon is its incredibly strong jaws. The hyena has long fangs in his mouth, and the bite force is enough to bite through the femur of a large ungulate. This is important because the predator fights poorly with its paws, and since there are a lot of carrion on its menu, the ability to crush bones for the sake of bone marrow is very important. It seems that the hyena has the advantage here, but the bite of a donkey is much more dangerous. He has no pronounced canines, and the incisors are not sharp but flat, except it's much scarier. The fact is that the donkey in the wild lives in places with a very harsh desert climate, where there is only hard, prickly, and hard vegetation. The donkey does not just cut it off, but grinds it with its jaws. His mouth is like an industrial vice. The pressure per square inch, square centimeter is so severe that the donkey can literally grind whatever gets into its mouth. In this case, the back of the hyena's neck got there. If the beginning of the fight, when the opponents are spinning in an attempt to grab each other with their teeth, looks comical, then it becomes no laughing matter. The donkey has excellent reaction and determination. He brutally attacks the enemy, grabs him by the vulnerable places in such a way that the predator could neither escape, nor get out, nor counterattack. Often the target of a donkey in a confrontation with hyenas is the muzzle, nape, back of the head, and neck of the opponent. It even feels kind of uncomfortable when you can see how ruthlessly the donkey drags the hyena, which tries to bite the enemy back, and can't. When a hoofed animal grabs a predator by the listed areas, the hyena has no chance to reach the enemy with its jaws. Trying to escape only brings more discomfort to the predator. In addition, a strong bite by donkey jaws on the back of the neck is very traumatic. Have you seen how cats carry their kittens, holding them in their jaws just by the scruff of the neck? As you can see, there is not even a shadow of this neatness and caution. The donkey tries to injure the opponent as much as possible, and the scruff of the neck is an ideal place to attack, as it is very difficult for the victim to escape. The remaining places of the hyena's body where the donkey can aim its bite pose a danger to the life of this carnivorous beast. Even if the donkey does not bite through the skin, he can break or pinch large vessels, break jaw bones, and damage the spine. In some cases, when the difference in size is quite large, then the donkey manages to lift the hyena off the ground so that the predator's front paws just hang helplessly in the air, and in this case, the hyena has no foothold for resistance. A sharp jerk up or down, and the donkey simply crushes the predator's neck, turning its body into a broken toy. But the main thing is the cruelty of the donkey. You didn't expect this ungulate to behave so aggressively, did you? So the hyena did not expect this, otherwise she would never have come so close to such a potential prey. The donkey doesn't just fight back, he is having fun. And he wants the hyena to remember this painful lesson forever. He does everything to make her understand. In the grip of the donkey, the predator becomes completely helpless. He cannot influence his condition in any way. It is completely at the mercy of the ungulate. The endurance of the donkey is incredible. He can hold the hyena for a very long time and walk with it in his teeth as if the enemy weighs nothing. A hyena can attack the donkey from the rear and bite its leg. Well, then the ungulate will kick. A well-aimed hit in the predator's face will stun the herbivorous fighter for a second to turn around and grab the enemy with his teeth. After that, the donkey will pull the hyena up and down to not only break the muscles in the neck, but also cause damage to the cervical vertebrae. In addition, the donkey simply demonstrates its strength and shows the enemy that it has messed with the wrong opponent. Admit it, such determination from an herbivore is worthy of your like, isn't it? Just because a hyena escaped a bite to the head doesn't mean it can relax now. The donkey is much faster than it might seem at first glance. As you've already realized, it's not enough for him to just fight back. He wants to teach and beat the enemy so that he will chase the hyena, trying to trample it with his massive hooves. The donkey's body is small but muscular, and its legs are strong. Due to living in mountainous terrain, hooves are got a natural sharpening. And a donkey can bite on the move. He knows exactly where to attack in order to cause the most damage. For example, aiming your teeth at the victim's groin, stomach, or hind legs to break them with your own teeth. Do you think it's an accident when a donkey aims its teeth at the hyena's back above the tail? Not at all. If the donkey manages to grab this place securely, clench its jaws, and pull hard on itself, it will simply just break the base of the hyena's spine. So the donkey can permanently turn off the enemy's hind legs, paralyze, or cause even more tragic consequences. The hyena is panicking. Maybe she's already dealt with lions and stayed alive. But getting out of a fight with the donkey in some cases is even more difficult. This is an adventure of a completely different level of difficulty. This fox was unlucky. The donkey considered him a threat and attacked with lightning speed. The entire neck of the fox was placed in the jaws of the ungulate. A much more massive and powerful herbivorous beast may understand that a small predator is not a threat to it, but it acts for sure. A few strong jerks into the neck vertebrae of the fox do not stand up. In fact, donkeys are quite patient animals. They're really stubborn and can be very cruel in battle, but they're not so easy to get mad and angry. On the contrary, when this domestic dog snaps at a donkey several times, the ungulate does not react aggressively for a long time. A dog can also be understood. These animals do not like it when someone approaches them during a meal. But still, the dog clearly overdid it when he tried to bite the donkey in the face several times. The hoofed man's patience snapped. It turned its back on the dog, after which it kicked powerfully right on the head. The dog flew off and hit twice, the first time on the donkey's hoof, and the second time on the wall of the house. The dog was literally thrown out of there by a ricochet, so powerful was the blow. It's good that the dog was unharmed, but she will remember this lesson for a long time. The numerical advantage of the enemy does not scare the donkey either. Here, two fairly large dogs attacked him. But the donkey did not just lose his head, he ran into a frontal attack. After which, he picked up one of the opponents by the hind leg, dragged him by his mighty jaws, and threw him to the ground. The donkey could have caused much more damage to the opponents. It seems that the dogs realized who they were dealing with, so they fled in panic. Donkeys are so aggressive towards predators that they can attack even in cases where carnivorous animals did not come for them, but for some other animal. A farmer in northern Colorado uses several donkeys as keepers for his herd of cattle. An interesting alternative to herding dogs, isn't it? Donkeys protect his cows from packs of wolves. Donkeys already play a similar function here. They seem to understand that this Labrador is not an aggressor. The golden dog wants to play, but behaves too intrusively, and the donkeys don't see this as an enemy here, and that saved the dog. If they had decided that the Labrador was a real danger, it's scary to imagine really what would have happened to him. But even so, his cheeky behavior irritates the ungulates. The dog clearly has not yet realized that it is not worth messing with these creatures and teasing them. He runs at them, then when the donkeys get angry and wants to teach the dog a lesson, the Labrador quickly retreats. He likes to race with the ungulates, run in different directions. For him, this is just a game. But such games end badly. Pay attention to how exactly the donkey demonstrates its serious intentions to attack the annoying beast. Donkeys put their ears back. This is not only an expression of anger, but also a protective reflex because the ears are quite sensitive. By removing them, the donkey tries to defend itself from a possible counterattack. The Labrador doesn't think about this. He enjoys his speed because so far he manages to evade a blow, dodge a frontal attack, and avoid being bitten by the donkeys. Well, it was also superfluous to underestimate the cunning of these ungulates. The donkeys turned their backs on the dog. She decided that this was a good opportunity to tease the ungulates a little more and make them run after themselves. But this was a trap. The donkey just waited for the dog to come closer, and then kicked him right in the face. This blow stunned the dog and discouraged her from playing with such rude creatures. But you gotta admit, donkeys know how to protect personal boundaries. The ungulate managed to hit the target so accurately due to the location of the eyes. Dogs, wolves, cats, and humans have binocular vision. The eyes are located in front of the skull, which allows you to better assess the depth and distance between different objects, and see details better and focus on the target. The donkey's eyes are placed further along the sides of the head. Therefore, the field of vision is much wider, and they can see the enemy approaching from behind. An important quality for an herbivore who needs to defend himself from predators. In Asia, there are whole herds of wild donkeys that travel across the steppes, deserts, and rocky semi-deserts of this vast continent. There, the main natural threat to donkeys is wolves. Dramatic scenes of the persecution and struggles of wolves and donkeys often fall into the lens of the researchers' cameras. These battles look very epic and intense due to the fact that the predators act very smoothly and effectively. They gather in fairly large hunting groups and are used to acting very seriously. It seems that experienced hunters understand that a donkey is not an easy prey at all. Carnivorous pursuers chase a whole herd of donkeys, trying to fight off weak and old individuals, as well as parents burdened with young foals. This is a typical wolf tactic, but what is atypical is the coherence with which donkeys operate. Predators have to chase ungulates for a particularly long time in order to repel some individual from the herd. Donkeys don't panic. They don't run away in different directions. And although fierce and selfless mutual assistance among unrelated adults or donkeys is rare, they nevertheless show amazing firmness of character while in confrontation with this dangerous predator. And donkeys also show the hardness of their hooves. During the chase, a lone donkey will not try to play the hero and will try to break away from the pursuit. He's incredibly tough, but so are the wolves. When a donkey stumbles and falls, predators immediately take advantage of the situation and pounce on the victim. But the donkey instantly meets the nearest wolf with a crushing hoof strike on the jaw. This cooled the ardor of the whole group and also gave the ungulate a few seconds to get up. But most of all, donkeys, of course, are known for their stubbornness, which is their most expressive feature inherent in most individuals of this species. If the donkey does not want to go, he will not go, and it can be extremely difficult to make him act against his own desires with both affection and force. But now, you'll see where this trait comes from in ungulates. For them, stubbornness is the key to survival. Wolves chase a lone donkey and surround it. Predators see that this is actually quite difficult to attack such an opponent, and he reacts quickly to every movement. His body is strong and muscular, but one of the wolves makes a decisive leap forward, runs up close to the donkey, and throws himself at his throat. The blow was perfectly timed. The wolf hit the target precisely and grabbed its prey by the neck with its powerful jaws right under the donkey's lower jaw. This is not a random choice of a place to attack. The wolf struck precisely at the windpipe. The donkey's neck is very muscular, and this is probably the only really vulnerable part of it. The ungulate immediately collapsed to the ground, and the wolves surrounded the victim. The wolf that struck its blow kept clenching its jaws to strangle its prey. It seems that the donkey has no chance to survive in such a mess. The development of events is clearly against him. The strongest wolf threatens to crush the trachea, the others are surrounded from different sides and will not allow him to escape. The wolf releases his grip. Apparently, he's decided that he's caused enough damage to the victim. The predators are almost celebrating the victory, and the victim seems helpless. But it's not like that. Just look at how deep and fast the donkey breathes, how quickly his chest heaves with each breath. His trachea is intact, and his will to survive stood out. The donkey is not in a panic, he's just gaining strength. With the stubbornness inherent in its species, the ungulate immediately jumps to its feet as soon as it realizes that it can do this. Of course, the donkey took a risk, but the wolves underestimated him and did not have time to pounce on him back in time. The ungulate managed to stand up almost without any obstacles precisely because of its incredible stubbornness. The donkey immediately took several steps forward, broke out of the encirclement, and the wolves are a little bit behind. They are at a loss, as they did not expect such endurance from the most ordinary little donkey. As a result, they retreated and went to look for simpler prey, but the donkey managed to save his life and even remained more or less intact. And this wolf decided to play tug of war with the donkey, and on their own predatory rules. The carnivorous animal grabbed the donkey by the muzzle and abruptly went back. The wolf wants to pull the donkey, unbalance it, make it lower its head and arm the soft tissues on its muzzle. Grabbing the lips is the most painful, as it is one of the few sensitive parts of the ungulate's body. But despite such poor conditions for the start of the confrontation, the donkey here also demonstrates incredible stubbornness. He resists both the wolf and the pain. The herbivore stands on all four legs and does not give in. Due to its very dense musculature and rather heavy skeleton, a donkey with relatively small dimensions exceeds a wolf by weight by about 3 times. And although the fangs dig into the muzzle, the donkey uses its advantage and refuses to play by the rules of its opponent. He rests his hooves on the ground and stands further away. This has been going on for quite a long time. The wolf cannot force the donkey down, cannot deprive him of his strength. The rest of the pack are standing nearby. Why do you think they don't try to attack the donkey by the legs and throw it together? Are you not sure of victory? Do you not want to be exposed to desperate hooves? Or are they showing respect to the prey in some way? Let us know your opinion in the comments. Anyway, the pack gets tired of watching this scene, and most of the wolves soon leave. There remains one, the one who failed to bring down the donkey. The hunter's excitement is clearly playing in it. The wolf abandons the idea of grabbing the victim by the muzzle, so it clings to the throat of the ungulate. It doesn't make any impression on the donkey at all. He stood up then, and he's still standing now. His stubbornness confuses the wolf, so he repeats the attack, but gets a hoof in the face. Finally, he gets tired of this confrontation, and the wolf moves away. The donkey defeated a whole pack of wolves only by endurance and stubbornness. Even a moose, which weighs only a little less than a ton, cannot boast of such achievements. One of the most intense fights involving a donkey. He was attacked by a snow leopard, a very powerful hunter. Although this cat is inferior in size to a leopard, the strength of its bite is very great. The snow leopard rushes at the enemy with incredible speed and successfully grabs him with its long fangs, squeezing the trachea and larynx. For a while, the donkey just, walks. He drags the snow leopard along with him, as if trying to check which of the two of them will get tired of this whole thing sooner. At the same time, the ungulate also tries to trample on the predator's body. But we must pay tribute to the snow leopard himself. This hunter has endurance. Perhaps his endurance level is not as high enough for the long chases, but he is able to clench his jaws for a very long time. Gradually, the donkey begins to lack oxygen. He's choking and falling off his feet. Is that it, the end? Of course not. The snow leopard does not understand who he's messing with. The donkey is just resting. After lying on the ground for a while, this stubborn beast gets to its feet. The predator flinches. He was not ready for this. The leopard releases the grip and immediately almost receives a crushing blow to the head with a hoof. The cat just had to run. This venomous snake crawled too close to the donkey for nothing. The ungulate got scared and decided to attack. Of course, the toxin could stop the heart of this herbivore, but only for this reptile would have to bite the donkey. The beast does not give the reptile any chance to do this. He grabs the snake by the middle of its body and jerks it up. The snake hangs from the donkey's jaw. In this position, she can't twist around and bite its face. The donkey squeezes its jaws harder and breaks the snake's spine, crushing its internal organs into dealing with the reptile in a few seconds without even damaging its skin. Wouldn't you agree? You did not expect an animal with a reputation for being innocuously stubborn livestock to be such a tough fighter, now did you? Which of today's cases, when donkeys defeated their opponents, struck you the most? Let us know in the comments section, and do not forget to subscribe. We will see each other more often.